Trader Joe's makes $16.5 billion a year. No ads, no app, no loyalty program. They don't even track a single customer's data. I'm going to show you exactly how they pull it off and the 5 principles you can steal for your brand right now. I've spent 20 years in CX and retention marketing. I've built CX and retention programs for brands like Feastables, Equip, Promix, and many more. And all of these brands have one thing in common. They are completely obsessed with turning a first-time customer into a lifelong customer. And when I look at what Trader Joe's does, it is the exact system that we try to build for every single one of our clients at OpenLate. But here's what nobody's talking about in the D2C space. Most of what Trader Joe's does to create that obsession is actually counterintuitive. In fact, one of their biggest retention drivers, most brands would look at it and immediately think that's a liability. And it's probably the exact reason that their customers aren't coming back right now. So I broke their entire model into 5 principles. And I'm going to show you exactly how brands that are doing 1 to 10 million are stealing this playbook. Because this is the same framework that I run through before I ever touch an email flow for a client. Nobody in the marketing space is covering how Trader Joe's runs their retention playbook. And if you're a brand that's spending $30,000 a month on meta ads and your customers aren't coming back, this is the video you need. A typical grocery store like your Kroger, a Publix, a Walmart, they're carrying thousands of products. But Trader Joe's, they're only carrying 4,000. And that number alone should make every marketer in the room pay very close attention, because it means that Trader Joe's is constantly rotating products in and out. They keep the selection tight, seasonal, and surprising. You can go 1 week and there's some incredible new sauce, but you go back 2 weeks later and it's already gone, maybe even forever. You don't really know. And the internet completely loses its mind over it. Their social media posts are written like obituaries. RIP to the Trader Joe's chili lime seasoning. We never got to say goodbye. That's literally how attached people get. So what does this actually do? It creates urgency. It creates real FOMO. But most importantly, it creates a reason to come back time and time again. Because if you skip a week, you might miss out on something. But most brands do the exact opposite. They want everything available at all times, maximum inventory, maximum options. The assumption is more selection means more sales. But what Trader Joe's understands is that scarcity and curation are the retention engine. Fewer SKUs, but more reasons to come back. If you're running a D2C brand right now, this is your permission slip to do limited drops, seasonal products, rotating collections, and monthly exclusives. And it's not because you can't fulfill year round, but it's because your customer who's checking your site every week might have a feeling of missing out on a product because it was seasonal or because it'll never come back. Even a monthly limited edition that has maybe a different colorway creates that treasure hunt. Your customer starts thinking about your brand between purchases, and that is the moment that you know you won. But the treasure hunt only works if people have a reason to show up in the first place. And the way Trader Joe's solves that has nothing to do with their products and everything to do with something I didn't fully understand until I had to build it for my own customers. The second principle is this: the store is the ad. Trader Joe's doesn't need to do paid media because the feeling of being in the store is the ad itself. Think about what you actually see when you walk in. Fresh flowers at every entrance. Every price sign is hand painted by an in-store artist, and they're different at every single location. You got employees wearing Hawaiian shirts, and instead of a PA system, they ring bells to communicate amongst each other. None of this is an accident. Every single element is designed to make grocery shopping feel like an experience rather than a chore. And when something feels like an experience, people are going to talk about it. That's free fucking marketing, baby. I talked about this in my Kith breakdown. Kith does the exact same thing with Kith treats, Kith limited edition items, Kith experience. Fashion is visual, but food is emotional. So they tether the brand to a sensory memory. Trader Joe's does this with the entire store. And when I was at Feastables, that obsession was baked into every single thing that we did. The unboxing, the packaging, the little surprise elements inside of the box. Every element was designed to make opening a chocolate bar to feel more than just opening a chocolate bar. We wanted people to screenshot it, share it, and feel something. So here's the question for your brand. Your website is your store. Your emails are your store. Your packaging is your store. Your post-purchase flows is your store. Is any of that worth talking about? Is any of it worth even screenshotting? You don't need a physical location to create this feeling. You need every touch point to help your customers actually feel something. something special. Make it feel the way Trader Joe's does when you walk in their store. But here's where it gets human, because the experience only works if the people delivering it actually believe in it. But what Trader Joe's figured out is that there's something that most operators never even think about. Trader Joe's employees are genuinely famous, not in a press release way, but in a real organic way. Customers talk about their experiences with store members the same way they would talk about their products. And that doesn't happen by accident. Trader Joe's pays above average for retail. They promote almost entirely from within. They cross-train every employee so everyone can help with almost anything. And they give their people real autonomy. A crew member can open a product right on the spot for you if you're curious to try it. So why does this matter? Because every single moment in that store is a micro marketing moment. Trader Joe's doesn't need influencers. It's because their employees are their influencers. This one's really close to me personally. When I was building CX at Feastables, I became obsessed with this idea. Our team wasn't there just to close support tickets as fast as possible. Every single chance was a chance to create a fan. If somebody reached out with a problem, the goal wasn't to fix it and move on. The goal was to make that customer feel like the brand actually gave a fuck about them. Like there was a real human on the other side who actually cared. And those people, they became our loudest advocates. Not because we asked them to, because they felt something, because they enjoyed being at the brand. So if your customer support team is racing to close a ticket and hit a metric, you're not creating retention. Train your team to be brand ambassadors. Give them the freedom to go off script, to surprise people, to be fucking human. That's what I call systems and a soul. You need the systems to scale, but you also need the soul to keep people around. But I want to be honest with you about something. All of this, the treasure hunt, the experience, the people, none of this can save you if this one thing isn't true for your brand. And this is the single question that I ask every single one of our clients before we even begin to build something. Over 80% of what Trader Joe's sells is private label, their own products, their own brand. So unlike a Kroger or Walmart where they're just selling Kraft or Pepsi, you're buying Trader Joe's brand. They control the quality, the sourcing, the pricing, the packaging, all of it. And they obsess over making genuinely good products, not just good for the pricing products, actually good products. The result, the everything but the bagel seasoning has social media accounts literally dedicated to it. The orange chicken has fan pages. The cookie butter created a genuine cultural moment. I went to my matcha place down the street and they even have a cookie butter matcha latte. None of that came from an ad campaign. All of it came from people trying the products, loving it, and obsessing so hard over it that they became fans. That's product-led retention. The product does the marketing for you. And here's the hard truth that I tell every single client before we build anything. Before we touch an email flow, before we build a single automation, before we even touch that subject line, I ask one question. Is this product good enough that you would tell your friends that you can't live without it? Because if the answer is no, or it's pretty good, or it's all right, no retention strategy in the world is going to save you. You can build the most beautiful email sequences, the most sophisticated loyalty architecture, the most on-brand packaging, but none of it matters if your product is mid. The brands that are winning right now started with a product that they genuinely fucking love. Then they built the systems around it, not the other way around. But here's the thing, a great product, an incredible experience, a team that feels human, all of that still doesn't explain the full picture because there's one more layer to what Trader Joe's built. And it's the layer that most brands will never reach. The fifth principle ties everything together. And it's the one that most brands will never reach. Not because it's complicated, but it's because it requires everything to be working together. Trader Joe's doesn't just have customers, they have a community. There are entire Reddit communities that are dedicated to Trader Joe's, not created by the company and not moderated by the company. There's TikTok accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers that just post hauls and reviews of what they bought at Trader Joe's. People wear Trader Joe's totes as fashion accessories. People are posting their grocery hauls like it's a luxury bought item. None of this was manufactured. Trader Joe's didn't hire someone to build a community strategy. The community built itself. And it's because every other thing that we've just talked about created the conditions to create that community. Treasure Hunt gives something for people to talk about every single week. The experience gives them a feeling worth sharing. The employees make the customers feel like they belong. The product gave them something worth evangelizing for. Here's what I really need you to sit with. Most brands are building customers. They're building transactions. And every single one of those customers is one better offer, one lower price, one new competitor away from leaving. But that's because there's no identity there. There's no belonging. They just buy from you and call it a day. When you build community and your customers aren't just buying from you, they identify with you, that changes everything. They carry your tote bag. They post your product unprompted. They defend you in the comment sections that you'll never see. They become co-owners of your brand with the same values in mind. That's a moat that no ad budget can buy, no loyalty program can even fake, and no agency can manufacture. And that's exactly why Trader Joe's has never needed an ad. Not because ads don't work, but because your community feels like they belong with your brand. And that's what all these 5 principles build together. Not a marketing strategy, a gravity pull, a brand people orbit around. Trader Joe's didn't win the grocery wars with a bigger budget. They won by making ads unnecessary. And that's not a hack, that's a completely different game. And the brands that I see winning right now, the ones that can actually sleep at night, they're playing that game. Now, Trader Joe's isn't the only brand doing this. There's another one with a completely different category, a completely different model, but they're running a very similar playbook and quietly at massive scale. And the reason they're winning has nothing to do with their product. It has everything to do with one decision that most brands don't even have the guts to make. Go watch this video. I break down exactly how this brand made their community obsessed with their product and the one move you can steal from their playbook and put to work this week.